Let's talk about the wild card weekend. And Dylan, should be a good one. I know your boys, the Raiders, are involved in it. And the Vegas impact, as we look at the matchups for the wild card weekend, a couple of prop bets for the 4 games. First one is, how many wild card teams will win this weekend? Now, this is on the road, I'm assuming. How many road teams will win this weekend? So the over, 1.5. You think 2 teams out of the 4 can go on the road. You get plus 200. Where are you going to get 2 road teams to get victory? Dolphins going to go into Pittsburgh?
Definitely not.
Maybe the Raiders in H-Town.
I like that.
Maybe the Giants in Lambeau.
I like that.
The Lions in Seattle.
Don't love it. It's possible.
But you got to get 2.
Bet. I take this bet not for a ton of money. I'm not putting $1,000, $500. I'm not even putting $100 on this. You take $50 or less. You put it on just because of the great odds. The Raiders can clearly beat the Raiders. I've already beat the Houston Texans down in Mexico City. I realize the big asterisk next to that. Yes, with Derek Carr. This will be without Derek Carr. I get that. But I think the Raiders can go into Houston and win. I think it's going to be, a crapshoot. Who winds up on the top end of that dog pile?
This is the under. I'm sorry. You got to take the under 1 on the hook on this one, don't you? I mean, I'm with you. I think the Raiders...
You're going to lay 300.
You're win 100.
300 to win a Benji. You're laying it. Ooh, that's a lot of wood to lay. You can't see a scenario where Eli, that much improved defense, goes into Lambeau and maybe shocks the world.
They're in a boat. Woo! Party. 6 days later in Lambeau.
You can't envision that?
No, I can't.
It's already happened. They've gone to Lambeau once.
I can't see Miami.
Giants are road dogs in the playoffs. They've done it before, running the table, going from road win to road win to road win to the Super Bowl. Their defense is better. I can see it happening. I like the pack, but I can see it happening. Same thing with the Detroit Lions. They played a lot of close games. They've come out on top, especially since Earl Thomas is out of this game.
Different defense, that's true.
Quarterback rating for opponents playing Seattle after the Earl Thomas injury has gone up 20 points. And the average quarterback rating of opposing quarterbacks now going up against Legion of Boom, 99.
Wow.
I could see a scenario, and I think the Raiders
maybe you're swaying me the other way.
The only way I'm telling you is because of the value here. That's a lot of wood to lay at minus 300. You have to be positive it's going to happen to lay 3-1.
Yeah, you do.
And in my case, I'd rather just put $20 to maybe win 40.
Yeah.
And root for the Raiders and the Giants, or the Lions and the Giants.
Get one in the book, then root for the other.
Dolphins are not going to win. They're 10 points.
The biggest point differential, Dylan, that we might see wild card weekend. Now, the over is 19 a hook, meaning, do you think out of any of the 4 games, somebody could win by 20 or more? Or if you think all the games will be relatively competitive, under 19 and a hook, well, Vegas has got this thing as a draw. I think I got to take the over because you can't have 4 competitive games, right? Somebody's going to blow out somebody. And I'm thinking Steelers are going to blow out the Dolphins.
I once again disagree with you.
Wow.
The only one, here's the question. Are the Steelers going to beat the Dolphins by 20? That's it. If you feel that way, yeah. You take,
right, don't you think? Don't you think they just
I don't think
Matt Moore?
We're talking about double the point spread, Dave. How often does Vegas get it that wrong?
Yeah, good point.
A 10-point spread is huge in playoff football.
Oh, that's massive.
And they could almost double it and win by 18 and still not cover here. No way I'm taking this, especially you're not getting great odds on this. Every point spread is within a couple points except for that Steelers-Dolphins game, so you have to ask yourself, that's the one most likely to be a complete blowout and be closer to 3 touchdowns or more than closer to the 10-point spread that Vegas has put this line at. So for me, look, I think the Dolphins are good up front with their line. I think with Jay Ajayi, they can run the ball a little bit. Do I think they're going to lose? Yes. Do I think they're going to lose by 2 touchdowns? Yes, probably. By 3 touchdowns? I don't buy it. I don't think Pittsburgh's defense is so good that Miami's just not going to score. And I think of all these teams that are having to deal with backup quarterback situations like the Raiders and like the Dolphins here, Matt Moore, you've seen over the last 3 weeks since week 14 where Tannehill went down. He's capable. He's capable of keeping this thing within 18 points as far as I'm concerned. I take the under here. I don't love either bet because I can see the Steelers winning by 30, by 20. I don't think it's going to happen. If I had to, gun to my head, put some money on this, I'm going to take the under. I'm going to trust Vegas that Vegas gets it closer to 10 than here.
These are why these are fun topics and certainly fun prop bets.
And a lot of fun creep out around playoff time.
Because you got to think of these things really in depth or else you're like, what? How about this one? The most points scored by one team in Wild Card Weekend, the over is 34 and a hook. Will there be any team that can score 35 or more points? Or we're going to have some defenses. Hell, you can even have some bad defenses and still hold them under 34 and a hook. Is anybody going to break that 35-point plateau?
I like over here. I think there's a reason it's minus 140. I think there's a reason it's the favorite of the bets here. I really do. And how often do you get a prop bet where minus 140 on this side, even on this side?
Yeah, you know what? I don't get that.
Great bang for buck on the underside. Here's the teams I think could easily do it.
Okay.
Pittsburgh,
yes,
at home, running with Le'Veon Bell, getting all up over Miami.
That.
I think they could score 35. I think there's scenarios where Seattle, if they're really cooking, they're fueling off the 12th man, and this becomes a little bit more of a shootout than we expect. I think Seattle could drop 35. How about how hot Aaron Rodgers has been since week 10?
How do you bet against that guy?
Depending on the conditions now, because we don't know exactly what the weather's going to be like over the weekend at Lambeau Field. The conditions may keep these point totals down, but I think either Pittsburgh or maybe Green Bay, one of the Raiders.
I was going to say, it was one game you haven't mentioned.
That game, the
combined.
Raiders-Texans game, the over-under is 36.5.
That's crazy.
For both teams combined, total.
Watch that be like a 38-30 shootout.
Who knows? Connor Cook for 800 touchdowns. But I do like the over here. I think the Steelers get the 35 points, and that's why I like it. I think there's a reason it's minus